Don't touch that dial. Keep it locked on WHCR 90.3 FM.
You need to keep it locked.
The voice of Harlem.
Turn it up.
I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. I think I can make it now. The pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is that rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. Look all around, there's nothing but blue sky. Look straight ahead, nothing but blue sky. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Oh, what a bright, sunshiny day.
Good morning. Welcome to Mental Health for Better Living. I'm your host, Dr. Leon Dickerson. Mental Health for Better Living is a show that explores the challenges to mental well-being, and as a collective group of concerned individuals, both lay and professional, together we address multiple mental health problems and then focus on solutions as they impact the individual, the family, spiritual life, and our community. You can listen to us also by logging onto www.whcr.org. Just click on the Listen Live button, and you can even see us right here in the studio. I'm a psychotherapist with an office right here in Harlem, and I will provide more information about my practice at the end of the show.
I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright,
To the wonderful and wise WHCR listeners, this is Brother Cornell West. I want you to join me and the 100 precious families who've lost loved ones. I want you to join faith leaders, voices of conscience, and thousands more for Rise Up October. This is the Stop Mass Incarceration March. We have 3 days of powerful resistance in New York City, culminating on October 24th. We're going to gather at Washington Square Park at 11 a.m. And we're going to keep in mind 7-year-old Ayanna Jones, 12-year-old Tamir Rice. We're going to remember Walter Scott, Freddie Gray, Sandra Bland. Go to riseupoctober.org and please get involved or call 929-249-7996. That's 929-249-7996. Brothers and sisters of all colors, which side are you on?
Every Tuesday from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., the 125th Street Farmers Market offers to the public farm fresh, locally grown fruits, vegetables, eggs, baked goods, apple cider, vegetarian food, wine, and delicious cold-pressed fruit juices. Vendors include Alex's Tomato Farm, Trinity Farm, Red Jacket Orchard, Bread Alone, Nevin's Farm, New Yoga Pitha Vegan Food, Three Measures Vegetarian, and Pro Tea Bakery. Also, yoga on the plaza with Bikram Yoga East Harlem. That's 125th Street Farmers Market, every Tuesday from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. 125th Street Farmers Market is located on the plaza of the Adam Clayton Power Jr. State Office Building at 125th Street and Adam Clayton Power Jr. Boulevard.
Harlem has its own radio station.
For you and yours, WHCR
90.3 FM.
the loudest party in the whole universe.
The voice of Harlem.
The truth can hurt you, or the truth can change you. What will truth do to you?
I just wanna be happy, but if I keep on doing the things that keep on bringing me pain, there's no one else I can blame if I'm not happy. Wasted time, but now I can see the biggest enemy, it was me. So I'm not happy. Cry yourself to sleep, shout and raise your hands. It won't change a thing, child, until you understand.
Preach.
If you're tired of being the same, if you're tired of things not changing, it's time for you to get out the way. Don't get stuck in how you feel. Say, Jesus, take the wheel. He knows the road that you need to take.
But it only works if
you wanna be happy,
look at yourself and say,
don't you wanna be happy? I just wanna be happy. But if I keep on giving my heart for people to tear apart, the healing will never start. So I can be happy.
yes, Lord.
Will I ever be happy? Cry yourself to sleep, shout and raise your hands. It won't change a thing, child, till you understand.
If I'm talking to you, then say,
If you're tired of being the same, if you're tired of things not changing, it's time for you to get out the way.
you've been there too long.
Don't get stuck in how you feel. Say, Jesus, take the wheel. He knows the road that you need to take.
I feel this one right here.
It's so easy to complain, addicted to the pain.
Yes.
You give your heart, they push it away.
But I got good news for you.
Jesus knows just how you feel. Just let him take the wheel.
Hallelujah.
The love you need, he already gave.
But the question is,
Do you wanna be happy?
if you're tired of you, then say,
I just wanna be happy.
Now, if you really mean that, open up your heart and say,
let me hear you say yeah. Yeah, yeah.
If you're tired of going in circles,
let me hear you say yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Tired of making the same mistakes,
let me hear you say yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, now's your chance.
Let me hear you say yeah.
Say yeah.
Yeah, yeah. If you're tired of being the same, if you're tired of things not changing, it's time for you to get out the way.
Are you ready? Come on!
Don't get stuck in how you feel. Say Jesus, take the wheel.
Won't he do it?
He knows the road that you need to take.
It's so easy to complain.
It's so easy to complain.
Come on!
Addicted to the pain.
Yeah!
You give your heart, they push it away.
But somebody that'll never leave you.
Jesus knows just how you feel.
Yes, sir.
Just let him take the wheel. The love you need, he already gave.
But the question is,
Do you wanna be happy?
took a long time, but I'm ready.
I just wanna be happy.
Thank you, Lord. Every day, ask yourself,
Do you wanna be happy?
yes, pull over, let him drive.
Just wanna be happy.
Good morning. I'm your host, Dr. Leon Dickerson. This is Mental Health for Better Living. I was away for a few minutes. Now I'm back. I was reflecting over the last year that I've been on the show, first show that I've done, and it's been sort of exciting and very interesting to bring all the guests that we have had on this past year. And the reason why I am sort of reflecting on that is because this is October, and it seems like it was just yesterday that we began to get ready for the mental health issues that we all are going to experience over the holidays. And the reason why I want to start early is because a lot of people are going to go into treatment for depression, for anxiety, and it's obvious that the holidays have a lot to do with it. But how we deal with that in clinical situations is a whole nother story. And many times we can treat people for, let's say, depression, thinking that, it may be coming from other areas of their life when actually it's coming from the fact that the holidays have put pressure on us. And it's usually in the financial area, pressure to spend, pressure to keep up with what is now called joy. Joy costs money now. You got to spend money for joy. And so we also that sort of segue into some conversations we have had on in the studio with the second week of the month, which is addiction. And so we speak about how how we obtain joy from drugs, and so it can be very confusing when we look at the mind. And that is why Mental Health for Better Living is a program, it's a show that I think is very important in the community, that we realize that everything that happens to us, we get paid off by how we feel, which is part mental. If you're a very wealthy person, you don't walk around with all the money you have in your pocket, or have armored cars following you around. So if you are a wealthy person, if you want to enjoy that reality, you have to, conceptualize, what that means in your mind, and then, you're okay. So the holidays that are going to come up on us very quick is going to be very important that we bring on guests and that we keep it real. That, if you're going to enjoy Christmas the way the world wants you to enjoy Christmas, then you have to have a lot of money. It wasn't always that way, but that's the way it is now. I want to just talk for a minute about the introduction to the show. It is very important for me, that when we talk about the concern that we have as a collective group of concerned individuals, both lay and professional, and I think that's worked very well this year for me. Of course, when we say lay, we're talking about individuals who are not necessarily professional, but yet are involved in situations that we all can identify as important, to the community. So when we talk about individuals, we're really talking about the individual self. We all are made up of mind, body, and soul. And so as individuals, we have to make sure that we take care of ourselves, both physically, psychologically, and of course emotionally. And then once we accomplish that, then we can join in society and deal with the issues as a collective group of what's going on in the world around us. And it's very important that we realize more than ever that how we feel can be a direct response to what's going on around us. And that is why the media is so important. And that's why I take this position as host of Mental Health for a Better Living extremely serious, because it's important that we understand, ourselves as individuals. And then we move on to talk about the family. And I think the family is the most critical system, in our society. Every society that is a society has a family. And of course, family has to do with children, and it has to do with parents. And the task of family is to socialize the children. In any society, the family has a job to do, and that is to basically socialize the children so they can grow up to be useful citizens in that particular society. So you can imagine when something goes wrong with the family system, then, we have problems. And when we say family systems, we are touching on, somewhat the theory of systems theory. It's called systems theory. And very simply put, systems theory works like this. System theory states that every whole thing is made up of parts, and every part plays a vital role in the upkeep of the system. Let's say you have an automobile, and automobile is comprised of computers, tires, engines, gas, all the things that go into a car. But let's say one of the wheels are missing. Okay, the car has 4 wheels in order to operate. But let's say one of the wheels are flat or is not on the car. Then that whole system is impacted by that one wheel. As inexpensive as that one wheel can be when you look at the entire cost of the car cannot function without that wheel. So now the focus is now on getting that wheel in place so that the entire system, can move. And so when you have a family system where one of the parts, which is maybe a child or maybe a parent, that's not functioning, then it impacts the entire system. Let's say you have a system of people where, the kids have to go to school and the kids have to, be fed, the kids have to be nurtured. Then the onus is on the parents to make sure that these children are nurtured so that they can perform in school and then eventually perform in society. We have a caller that just called in. I would like to entertain a caller. This is Whcr 90.3 FM. I'm Dr. Leon Dickerson, and this is Mental Health for Better Living. Sir, your name, please, and where you're calling from.
Yes, great day, Mr. Dickerson.
Beautiful.
Right on. Hey, I wanted to, I'm calling from New York.
Okay.
And you spoke of, being serious about the subject, of the mental health. Yes. And that's as far as I'm concerned, I feel that that's optimum as far as, which, our concerns would be. But one thing that seems to be left out of the equation is the female principle, and not that she's, the female is not mentioned and spoke of and put on pedestals, but that might be the problem. She might be put on insecure and insincere pedestal, and what happens is we fail to realize that women have egos also. And being that you are a psychologist, and you probably real in depth in your field, you probably this is probably not unfamiliar to you,
right?
Of the woman's ego, but this is not spoken about very often. Would you agree? Yeah. Now, see, the thing about it, the reason why I'm mentioning this here is because when we look at many of the ills in our community,
right?
And a lot of the so-called damaged goods, the damaged goods that that seem to be the product of the female womb.
Right.
Many times we fault men for a whole bunch of these ills. And in many cases, if the female principle is not acknowledged in a more fuller perspective of her dimensions, she can hide behind tears at the drop of a hat, and and at the drop of her veil, she can also hide what role she played in many of these scenarios. In many cases, ulteriorly, she may be having her own, pent up, hostilities towards the male. And in many cases, it's the female's ego that may be out of balance with a whole bunch of things that's going on, where there's some real good intentioned men that's been holding on to, to maintain this family. And many of us have been going to jail just to support what the family is about. Now, and when men are immature in many of this here, a lot of the violence and the aggression towards each other, seems to, take precedence. And if there's any drugs or alcohol or tobacco, a lot of stuff involved, a lot of our energies will go into that. And then the whole ball of wax goes topsy-turvy. And meanwhile, the woman, again, is looked upon as the damsel in distress. When in this new millennium, it's spoken of moving into the age of Aquarius and A, B, C, and D with all that, and coming out of the age of Pisces, of hope and belief, and into the age of Aquarius of knowledge. And see, what happens is the woman's ego, if it's ignored, we can be blindsided again by the same thing that happened with men, going into this here new millennium thinking. And it's this bruised ego of a female that can have things spinning in out of orbit in so many cases.
Are you talking about a specific situation? Because when I mention family, I'm talking almost from a biological perspective. Like, there's a male, female. In order for society to move forward, we have this called procreation. Children come about. I'm sort of there. But we're there. Right.
Yes. We're there. That's right on target.
Yeah. Right. In the course of family, or the idea of family, things happen. It could be drugs. It could be, domestic violence. The third week on our show, we have sort of dedicated that third Monday from 9 to 10 on domestic violence in the family, men and women's issue. So in any of these pieces that I've mentioned, like the individual, the family, spiritual life, and our community, and each one of the things that I do mention each time I come on the show that we were concerned with, you can break those down. You can keep breaking things down to the finer, like elements,
sure.
To talk about. Because when we talk about family, all families experience problems, okay, but not necessarily the same problems at the same time. Okay, now when we experience, let's say, I think for the last 10 years, you really can't turn on TV or buy a paper without, reading or seeing gun violence. Okay, and over the last 10 months, it's been the shootings by police officers on African Americans or other people of color. And that's prompted people, when it gets to that level, it prompts people like administrators and elected officials to act on it. Okay, and I think in New York City, the police are being retrained, to learn better how to communicate and how to interact with the public. So we do have issues that we can separate: men's issues, there are veterans issues, and there are women's issues, which I'm particularly concerned with as a psychotherapist. And I know, we all have to take, our responsibility for things. Okay,
sure.
but in our society, when men and women like sort of get together, fall in love, but then something goes terribly wrong, it's usually the female, that's sort of left to sort of raise the child. And so I get a lot of that. I get a lot of single parent females, and when I get, those situations in my office, it does matter what happened to a woman and a man who didn't make it. It does matter.
Of course.
But what becomes primary are, the concerns of the children.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's where we concur on that.
Okay.
And this is where I'm really reiterating of the woman's role as far as right now it's recognized that women have more initiative as far as being in procreation and things of the same nature, like you said. And we might have been miseducated to look at it, on a reverse, as though it's this men's world thing, A, B, C, and D with that. And, not recognizing that men have been really immature in a lot of areas. And if the women are, of certain, prowessness, then we should also look at, her role that she plays in the topsy-turvy of some stuff, because, it's easy to pamper the female and, give them the impression that, she's the victim in this whole, scenario.
Well,
when really it's one of those things where it's an immaturity of both male and
right.
female.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
And I think we should be a little more fair-handed in chastising women if we really love them. See, because we can easily just go ahead and pamper them, and give them all this here. And meanwhile, that spoils them. And they have been spoiling them, and they have been really going blindly and thinking that they fart don't smell is funky is the next character.
Well, I tell you, sir, I've been married for 35 years, and I don't think I could, feel too good after chastising my wife. You have to talk with them, and you have to really, come to some type of mutual understanding. Okay, but
yeah.
You make a
but
point.
Men have been chastised. Women have been chastised. We have the NAACP.
Yeah.
We have the Nation Islam. We have different organizations that chastise males.
Yeah.
But where's the organizations that chastise the female? When I say chastise, I'm not talking about grabbing this big baseball bat and beating nobody. No,
right.
I'm talking about the mental caressing, the mental nourishing with not just a gentle stroke, but also with a firm stroke. If we really love them, this is where I'm coming from, brother.
I got
because you know where I'm coming from, man. Because this is real to us, man.
I got you.
We can't continuously go on as though the females are very innocent in a lot of stuff, and many times it's the men going to jail and stuff like this here, in order to appease to this woman's so-called schizophrenia of mood swings.
I hear you, sir.
And what have I done for you lately kind of stuff. And men have been really going bonkers.
Right.
Because we're not seeing a larger picture of this. And we're not taught a larger picture with this here through the educational system.
Okay, listen, thank you for calling.
And the children falls through the cracks. So
thank you for calling.
I'm just addressing this because you are, in depth in that area.
Okay.
Whereas many others aren't, and you have the position over the air,
right?
Being propped in the position.
Exactly.
And so this can be used as an opportunity.
I will definitely.
I'm not trying to
keep listening to the show.
Can be used as an opportunity to
keep listening to the show,
and
you're going to see that I'm going to work on this. I'm going to develop it, and I'm going to come back with this. Okay.
Thank you very much. It's very important, man.
It is very important. Thank you for your call.
Very much.
Thank you.
I can see clear.